What's up? This is The Pitch. Hey guys, welcome back to The Pitch. I'm back as the host this week, B-Doms. This is Peps, and of course you know Mitch. A legend retired in the NBA this week, the Canucks took a lead in the series, and the NBA Finals is all tied up. So, yeah. So we're going to jump right into this. First, the legendary Shaquille O'Neal finally retires from the NBA.
Yes.
Thoughts on career, his legacy?
Arguably the greatest center of all time. You got to throw Will Chamberlain up there, Bill Russell, George Mikan, but yeah, he's definitely right there. So,
I put him number 3.
He might be your number 3. But so dominating. Obviously, he's probably one of the biggest people ever on this earth. I mean, the guy's huge. 320, 350, 372. The guy's just immense. Such a legendary center in this league.
One of the few players that could just stand on the court and have an effect.
And have
on
a
the game.
mismatch.
But just him being on the court affected the game. Whether he was hurt or not, just him being there scared the opponent.
Yeah, and also, no matter what, you had a mismatch. But
You have to adapt your strategy to like an animal like Shaq.
I mean, someone that big and that athletic, I mean,
it's
you
so
can't stop
it
him.
would be so
He was
nice
great
to build a
passer,
team
too.
around like a guy like that.
Yeah, that's a prototypical when you want to build a team around you, like a Tim Duncan, a Shaquille O'Neal. A big center is great, Dwight Howard. But, he played in 6 teams. Obviously, the Lakers was his biggest team. That was his prime of his career. He won championships. He's just a tremendous player. He's a real nice guy, too. He's real nice off the court.
Hilarious.
Yeah, he's hilarious. All the nicknames, Diesel, Superman, Will Chambereezy, or whatever they called him, the Big Leprechaun. He was pretty smart, actually. So.
He's actually not that bad of a rapper, too.
Yeah, he's all right. He was an actor and good burger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as the court, definitely one of the
He's
best
in
centers
the
of
Owl
all
City
time.
music video.
Anybody who can take down a rim with a dunk, that's some serious.
When you have 350 pounds of force.
Yeah, so that's basically
You're
says
That
it
was
all.
also on the old rims, too.
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore because they because of Shaq,
They had
there
to
was
do
a
it
new
because of
backboard.
Yeah.
That is how great this
We
player
need to
was.
change the rule because this man is massive.
Yeah. No, he's so big.
I mean, what's the main thing he's going to be remembered for? Is it going to be his size? Is it going to be his personality? All the championships
He's
he's
going to
won?
be the championship.
I think it's going to be
and how he won the championship without Kobe. Even though he did have a star in Dwayne Wade.
I think when somebody says Shaq to me, I think of all of his off the court antics with
I
the
think
Jeff
of the Shaq
Walkies and the
back
beast
meal.
on the court. Yeah.
I think of Shaq back deal at Burger King when they.
I don't really
used to
think
have
about the championships too much, but
Yeah, no. Like when I think of Shaq,
I think of dominating on the court with the Lakers.
I think about a
off the
dominating player.
those.
Someone.
The championships were with the Lakers.
Yeah, but like when I think about Shaq, it's not just about the championships.
Oh,
That's
no,
what separates him from everyone else.
That's more like Tiger Woods. If you think
Yeah.
about Tiger Woods, you think about all those majors he's won.
Yeah.
Or you think about Derek Jeter, you think about the championships. Shaq's more of how
like a different
dominating
breed,
you are. Yeah.
So, all right, I guess we're gonna move on to the finals in hockey.
Yep.
Canucks take Game 1 with 18 seconds left in the game.
I'm kind of happy, kind of not. So.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, Rafi Torres put it in there. I think Ryan Kessler, there's a big problem with the offsides. It was debatable. It was borderline if he was offsides there, but he made a great play to Hansen, and Hansen made a great play to Torres.
Yeah.
Torres put it behind him. And for Thomas Thomas had nothing to do with that. He had a tremendous game. It was a huge battle between Luongo and Thomas.
Thomas made some unbelievable
Yeah, he did.
saves.
And Luongo was pretty solid, too. I think overall the Bruins played a better game. The Canucks are... The one thing I thought... what I take from that game is how physical the Canucks got. I mean, they were biting our players. They were biting our players.
Hey, who did bite?
Patrice Bergeron, Alexander Burrows, so the guy's a jerk. Yeah, but they're very physical, and a lot of people say, the Bruins have physicality defensively. It's really not too many categories that the Bruins have them in. I think across the board, Canucks are the better team. Just Bruins are playing on pride. They have a lot of passion, they have a lot of fan base, and a lot of people say this is their year. That's why some people say they're winning. But as far as team goes, I mean, you can just see their skating is perfect, their passing fluently. I think Kessler had a huge game. I think Luongo had a huge game. And the thing that separates them is, you look at Thomas, he's that big carrier. If you can have a guy that can play it to that same caliber, as same with all that offense, I mean, that team's solid. And Luongo is definitely that kind of goalie's veteran candidate.
So, I remember when you were knocking me for Roberto Luongo. What happened?
No, I still take Thomas. But
I'd take Luongo.
Luongo has the experience in the finals.
Well, now they both have experience in finals.
Yeah, well, Luongo has more like playoff depth experience.
Let's put it this way.
We're talking about the game.
And let's put it this way. It's pretty much like the best goalie versus second best goalie.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like it really matters all
Yeah,
that much.
Ryan Miller's there too, but
Right, yeah,
That's
Ryan Miller.
the defense, though.
but yeah, talk about the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just 18 and a half seconds. Just the
Yeah,
defense.
it's Harper.
A nice scrap game. It wasn't. I'd say it wasn't as scrappy as Tampa game, even though they were biting each other. But I mean,
He put his finger in my mouth.
it's just a shame the end of that with the defense just.
I mean, you
collapsed.
see the replay.
You could just see the last 2 minutes. Vancouver completely took over, like completely just offensive attack at our net.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I
you could
think-
just it just stood out because I was watching. I'm like, it's gonna happen again. And the kid I was with, he said, I was watching the game with me. He said that they're gonna score in the last minute when there was like 10 minutes left, and they scored with 8.5 seconds.
Yeah, I think a
So it
problem
was
was.
like awful. Just the last minute collapse. It's like you don't want that to happen.
I also think a problem in that game was Claude Julien. He had the best defensive pairing in the game in the playoffs with Chara and Seidenberg, and he decides to split them up. And then most of that game, they had tons of ice time. They've been two of their best players. They've knocked their two best players on the Bruins, Chara and Seidenberg, and they were working well together. And I think they were 12-4 as a pair. And Claude Julien, I don't know
Yeah.
why. If he wants to mix something up in the power play. I don't know why you're mixing up the only thing that works. But you take them out. I think they need to stay in the same exact defensive pairing. They're on the ice for 30 minutes a game, so together, I mean, that's just awesome.
There were so many power plays in that game too.
Yeah, there was.
Unlike that Tampa game,
Yeah.
it was like scrappy in a much different
And the
way.
Bruins can't cash in.
It was
at all,
scrappy
so.
with desperation, then it was scrappy for I really want this game and I'll do whatever it takes
In
to
the-
bite your ear off.
And the fact that bite your finger off. And the fact that there was so much power plays in that game shows that the Canucks might have had the edge there, because the Bruins don't want to have power plays. Obviously, they want to have that game 7 that they had against Tampa, and they want to be that team that doesn't give up penalties, because they're not great in the power play. Actually, they're flat out historically awful
they're
in the power
pretty
play.
bad.
That is terrible. Chara's the power play didn't look as bad as it did, but if you're 0 for 5 in the power play, it's still not going to work out.
We outshot them after like the second, I think, too.
Yeah, no,
we
it
had them outshot. We had them outplayed it to an extent. It
Yeah.
seemed like everything was going good.
But the
Like, when I
Canucks
heard it
are
was
just-
0-0 after one, I was kind of surprised. I'm like,
Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm surprised the Canucks haven't taken over yet.
Yep.
Well,
'Cause I was
speaking,
expecting them to with their offense.
going with what Mitch just said, the Canucks being great and playing like Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
are the Bruins in trouble?
I think the Bruins are more in trouble than I mean, going into the series, I think a lot of people have them as the underdog. But after they going up 1-0 for the Canucks, it's going to put a problem on them. If they go up and lose another one, they're not the Canadians. If they go down 2-0, the Bruins are in trouble. The Canucks are the best team in the regular season, and they're the best team in the postseason along with the Bruins. So if you go down 2-0 against this team, I don't think it's turning back.
Yeah.
The Bruins need to cash in and take something with them to Boston. If they go in Vancouver's house, the Boston fans are going to be pumped up if Vancouver wins this next game. This is a huge, huge game.
But anything can happen in hockey, though.
Yeah, and if you look back in the Tampa game, the big thing with the Bruins is their resiliency. They don't, after they lose a game, coming back, you see how strong they are. But if you look at Tampa Bay in the last series, game 1, it was all Tampa Bay. Game 2, there was that pawn hockey game where it was back and forth. It ended up 7-5, I think. The Bruins don't want to play that game, but they have to do anything. If they want it to be an offensive, if Vancouver makes it an offensive game, they're going to win an offensive game. If Boston plays their game and makes a defensive game, they're going to have to win that game. They need to pull out this next game. If Vancouver goes up 2-0, I think Boston.
I agree. They desperately need this next win. I mean, they need mainly their defense to keep intact for the whole 60 minutes, not 59 and a half.
Yeah.
And just their offense to step up a little bit
59,
more and
4,
test Luongo more.
Yeah.
I feel like he was tested at times. There were times where there was nothing going on down the zone for like half the period at one point. It's like you have to test them to keep them in check.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, 2 things. One, anytime you're going up against the best team in Canada in hockey, you know you're in trouble already. So this has already been an uphill battle. And the second thing is, the Bruins' offense is not as good as the Canucks.
Yeah.
They have matching goalies. So it's a very uphill battle for the Bruins to begin with.
And the Bruins allegedly have the uphanded battle on the defensive end.
Yes.
But that's defense versus offense.
Yeah, but if we have no offense, then
But
we're never going to
But I think the offensive, the Bruins' offense is here, Vancouver's offense is here. It closes gap on defense. The Bruins might be
Exactly.
here, and the Vancouver might be here.
So I mean,
but
they're going up against probably the best team in the NHL. I mean that we've seen
I
in quite
agree.
a while too.
And one more thing I want to add about this. I think it's kind of funny. If you look around the rink of Vancouver with all the ads, one of the ads says Boston Pizza, and they changed Boston Pizza's title to Vancouver Pizza. I think that's pretty.
That
cool.
was pretty good. Yeah.
I didn't even know we were that famous for our pizza, but that's pretty cool.
I know. Like, who thinks of Boston
Yeah.
for
I
pizza?
guess the North End.
You get like
Cape
you
Cod.
know, New York style. You get
Boston
like
pizza.
Chicago
Style
style.
Creek. Yeah.
Maybe
But-
they need to take a trip to the U.S. first.
Go some NBA.
Yeah, let's move on to the NBA Finals. The Heat took Game 1, but then the Mavs countered and took Game 2. So, what are your thoughts on the series? It's been a great series.
Best you can take it. Yeah.
I mean, I really like the fact that Dirk Nowitzki always steps up as it is. I mean, also, it's just the bench for the Mavs really been outplaying the Heat's bench. I mean, especially last game really showed with Jason Terry, who is the X factor, with Sean Marion coming in there too. And I
Sean
mean,
Marion, 16
everyone really did like a part. You had Jay Kidd, who's like an old point guard, coming in there getting like 8
Yeah.
rebounds.
Yep.
So I mean,
But that's his game,
everyone's.
he's
I know,
big
yeah, I
rebounder.
know that, but he's like the triple double man.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean,
I think he averaged triple double once, like 3 or 4 years ago.
I mean, it is mainly just whoever's bench outscored the other bench won the game. That's what happened. The Heat's bench outscored the Mavs bench in Game 1. They won.
Yeah, Miami can't let that happen either.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers had a big game.
Yeah,
that
I was
game.
gonna-
But I mean, the problem is that that Game 2, Miller had like 6 points, and Haslam had 2, and then you had like everyone else like didn't play, and there was one more play with nothing.
Yeah.
It's like it's just that and Marion stepping up, like I said. So I mean, if you have that coming through, like I said, with the core players taking down that big three, even though the big three's going to get theirs.
Yeah.
But if you obviously overtake that, then I think they got a very good shot.
One thing that's sticking up to me in this series is the chemistry between Wade and LeBron. I think that chemistry has come a long way since the start of the season. I think they're finally finding that fluency that they needed. And also with this, Miami, the big thing with Miami is when's another player other than the big three going to step up? And so far, like Pep just mentioned, Mario Chalmers has been that guy.
A little bit.
He was huge in the NCAA tournament back when the Jayhawks won the championship, and now he's doing it again right now, and that's huge. And the guys like Mike Bibby had a big game last game, and
Yeah.
also Mike Miller can step up at times. If one or two of those guys can help out, that'd be huge.
You know who they need to step up? The big key for them, like this is like the heart and soul of the Heat. Udonis Haslam. Like
Yeah,
whenever he was on the floor, that time when he had like 13 points and like we'll say 6 to 8 rebounds that game,
Yep.
they won, and all the fans just like erupted when Haslam came onto the court.
Yeah,
And the fact is, if he shows up, even if he's not scoring points, just getting in there hustling, they love when he's on the court.
Yeah.
So why not put him on the court? He's a playmaker too. He's
Yeah.
a big guy, but he makes plays like really well.
Yeah.
And he can score from like mid-range, like 15-foot jumpers. So I mean, why not put a guy like that out there over like you'd say, you know, like a Joel Anthony
Yeah.
or someone like that.
I just want to make a couple more points here. Back in, like you just said, with Udonis Haslam, if you go back to 2006, where it was the same championship, now it's a rematch. You took Shaq, you took Wade, and the third guy was Udonis Haslam. Now he's back healthy. He definitely has to step up. He's the big
He's like the
physicality
soul
guy.
in that,
And
with Wade.
Yeah, when he went down earlier in the season, they were in trouble. But now that they have him back, he needs to definitely step up. I like what you
Yeah.
said there. But also, I like what Dallas said has done with Marion. I think Berea needs to step up. But Marion kept him in that game. 20 points last game. That was huge.
Stoy scoring no
It is-
points twice killed him too. I
It-
mean, he's the guy who come off and drain threes like it's his job.
And Marion's
That
done
is his job.
Marion's done a pretty good job defensively in LeBron. He had one lapse last game when LeBron had a huge dunk at the end of the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, that was bad. But Marion's done a solid job for his age against LeBron. I still like the Heat though.
I still like the Mavs, and another thing is,
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
I was actually going to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
ask you guys, what do you feel about your picks
Good.
after 2 games?
I love the fact it's kind of like the Canucks Bruins thing. Like the Bruins either win game 2, the Mavs did that.
Yeah.
They won that game 2, and then they're going home for 3. So you know what the good thing is? Now Dallas has that home court advantage. Question is, will they take advantage of it? And I think they will. I think you need 2 out of 3. You definitely want 3. But you have to get 2 out of 3.
I think if
You
they get 2 out of 3,
cannot-
they got the series.
You cannot take 1 out of 3.
Yes, if Miami wins 2 out of 3, they're Dallas. is
Oh
good.
yeah. Dallas needs to take advantage of that home court advantage. Now you did your job. You
Yeah.
stole one on the road.
I agree.
You showed the little weakness in Miami, showing the fourth quarter blow again, which they used to do in the middle of the season, when they were like blowing leads in the fourth quarter against teams
Is
like
it-
the Bulls and
Yeah.
everything.
Is it possible that this momentum might hurt them coming back? Because they are an older team. Going back, they're on a flow here. They might be looking past Miami. They might be saying,
No way.
hey, listen, we're back at home.
Dirk Nowitzki
No.
looks past no
No,
competitor.
they would
Dirk
not do that, I don't
Nowitzki.
think.
Dirk Nowitzki reminds you like Pearson's own way. He's not going to look past anyone.
They're way too smart to do that.
No, I agree.
They
But
got Terry and Nowitzki are like brains. They're gonna keep
Yeah.
like
They'll
intact
keep
with
the
this
team
whole
together.
entire
but I think rather than using this momentum, they need to look back and use strategy. Maybe take a game plan and say, listen, we won one game. Let's not overdo this. Let's not be Miami and start having celebrations before this thing ends.
Yes, obviously I think they're more mature than Miami.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely.
Easily.
Way more.
In Miami, what they need to do in this series, they need to do the opposite. They need to come up and pretend like this is their home court and really have a huge first quarter in this next game 3. I think this is huge. I think this next game is a huge, huge momentum swing. Whoever wins this game might be favored for the rest of the series. If Miami takes that, it's going to be a huge blow for the Mavs. The Mavs need to win
I think the Mavs need this. They need the game 2 when they took it. They need this game 3 coming home to keep this crowd in the game and to keep them in the game.
I agree.
And the series.
Yep. I think it's going to be tough.
You guys still sticking with your picks?
I'm sticking with Miami.
I'm keeping with Dallas.
Yep.
All right.
All right, cool.
So, when we come back, we're going to talk about the MLB a little bit, and we're going to get to viewer emails. So, we'll see you then.
All right, cool.